welcome to Aaron's apartment. I do not live here. Aaron does, but I spend a lot of time here, and so together we're going to rearrange his living room and see how we can improve it. Come on, let's go inside. So when you first walk into Aaron and Devin's apartment through that door, you are greeted by this sofa, which is, a place where today people just take off their shoes or throw their stuff. For example, this is my backpack. These are Aaron's keys. He'll wonder where they are later. We want to integrate this seating with the rest of the seating area over there in the living room. Because right now, this isn't really part of the same sort of seating space, and it's kind of awkward to sit here unless you're just taking your shoes on and off. It's not where you'd sit to talk to people or to watch television. So we want to make this more useful seating arrangement so that it's just not a large sofa that accumulates stuff. This is a very large sort of weird interstitial hallway space between the living area and the dining area and kitchen. It's a lot of large unused space. It functions pretty good as a dance floor. One of our goals with this rearrangement is to kind of bring the living room this way so we aren't wasting so much space here. This is a lot of great square footage that just really isn't being utilized for anything but my dance moves. Welcome to the used furniture portion of Aaron and Devin's apartment, the place for lost and abandoned furniture, the place for additional furniture that you might need to pull out if you're having a party and you just need more furniture. For real, this is the extra furniture that has just kind of been pushed to the side because there's new pieces of furniture now and there's not really a good home for these yet. So we got some useful stuff over here. Two nice stool, upholster, cushiony, good for sitting on. Very large coffee table, tumbleweeds. This was a nightstand in Aaron's room, and let's not forget very useful lightsabers. Now this is what I think is going to really be the game changer when it comes to opening up the space. Right now the sofa seats, 4 people comfortably. We want to have it so a lot more people can pull up a chair and it's not closed off to the kitchen dining area. So what we're going to do is actually rotate this sectional. The back of it will be towards this balcony window. And then when people come in the door, instead of be facing away from people, we'll be facing at people, hey, come in, sit down, enjoy a spot on the sofa with us. I think it'll be more welcoming and also a good way to extend this space too, so it's not just a tiny little square. We can make it a larger rectangle. Here is Aaron and Devin's bookshelves, which are color-coded. The bookcase is going to stay on this wall because it is anchored into the wall, and we don't want to have to take it down, unanchor, re-anchor it to a new wall. We had talked about possibly putting the television on this wall, but that would involve the steps I just mentioned. Too much work for right now. We're just going to do a simple furniture rearrangement. So there's a reason that the apartment is laid out like this. They felt like there had to be a giant hallway and a very distinct living area, and that's because of this wall which divides the kitchen and the living room. And you'll see right now the sectional is butted up right against it. This is the extent of our living room, we can't go past this. When we rearrange the furniture, we're gonna not give this wall such hierarchy. Whatever, we can come into this space a little, we've got plenty of room to walk around. We aren't bound to this wall. Knock it down. Not really, I would love to knock it down. I'm not going to treat it like it's a confinement of the space.
We started by moving the furniture out of the living room and cleaning the space. We then attempted the planned configuration of rotating the sectional so that it opened toward the front door and to move the love seat into the seating arrangement. This felt really weird because the love seat was oversized for that location, so rather than acting as part of the conversation group, it appeared like a random floating piece of furniture. In an effort to create a distinguished living room space, we tried rotating the sectional back to its original orientation, but pushed it past that kitchen wall, which allowed us to bring the love seat in front of the balcony doors. Again, it was feeling really weird. The love seat was just too large to fit proportionally with the sectional in its L-shaped configuration. The equidistant L was really throwing our proportions off, so Aaron suggested splitting up the sectional. The proportions of the split sectional worked much more nicely, but again, the love seat was just too large and clunky for that location. We decided to split the sectional into 2 halves and bring it back to the wall, one on each side of the television. It's unconventional, but felt proportionally better with the space. We then rolled the area rug back out to ground the furniture and visually define the seating group.
So this looks a lot different than it did, and it looks a lot different than what I was describing how we're going to arrange it. Turned out the sofa was longer and larger than we needed, so the additional sofa we ended up not adding to this living room seating arrangement. So if you remember before, this was actually an L-shaped sectional. It was equidistant on each side, basically like half of a square. And when we were moving the furniture around, it just became so restrictive to work with this proportion. It didn't fit in this rectangular space. I think there's very few spaces in which an L-shaped sofa actually works proportionally. When we were moving things around, Aaron got the bright idea, do we need to leave this sectional together or can we split it apart? So we just tried it. We took half this sectional and set it over here like a love seat. Yes, there is a missing armrest and like a taller armrest, but the proportions look a lot better. It's achieving kind of the open plan that we were hoping for. We're liking it. It's a little out there, but a good solution to our design problem. You might remember that this was originally twice as big. There are two individual pieces to the sofa configuration. Since we're having such trouble with the long kind of sofa fitting in within the space, we decided just to separate them. So we have one over here and one on the opposite side of the TV. We're not sure if they're really necessary or functional for the long term, but it's kind of like an interesting object. Don't hate it. It might be like a little bit too much furniture for the space, but it's not that bad. It's growing on me. It's not where I originally thought it would be, which is like the back facing the door, but it works a lot better just on this wall. So one thing that Aaron hates about this living room and did not want to incorporate again is this area rug. However, when we had the furniture just arranged with no rug, it just seemed like random furniture, not grounded in the space, all brown. It's still pretty brown over here, but before it was like brown floor, brown table, brown couch, all the same shade. So in order to make it feel like a room, we needed an area rug. So we rolled this guy back out, and luckily Aaron chose a very good sized rug when he first bought it. It's an 8x10, great standard size for a living room. Never go smaller than that. Probably even if you live in the tiniest little apartment, you can go 8x10 or larger. It's what defines a room when you don't have walls to do that. So it designates and separates the living room from the entryway. A couple things we changed about here. This coffee table from the extra furniture. We needed a bigger coffee table for this larger room arrangement. Also, he had these ottomans and we stuck them in here for now because it's kind of good to like put your feet up. It'd be nice if they could like slide under the table, but the table's not quite tall enough for that. Might do something else with the ottomans in the future, but for now, hey, it's like serving a purpose. One of the key parts is it needed to function well. Aaron and Devin need this to work for them or they're gonna hate it, you know? I wanted this to be something that was comfortable and usable. In design, it's kind of taboo, I don't know why, to have a television. However, this is a man cave. It's not really a man cave, but it's a guy's house and they like TV. We spend a lot of time, you know, watching television. They play games on this, so it's the focal point of the living room. This is important. And so therefore, we moved it to the center of the room. So now, not only is it like closer to where the new couch is, but we also have easier viewing from the dining area. And if you're cooking in the kitchen, you can even like poke your head around and see what's going on TV. We're keeping all the furniture right now. This is just a rearrangement. So another design client request, I guess you could say, is the lighting. Aaron really wanted to make sure that he had lamps in the appropriate locations. He needed to have a light in this corner over here. And so that's another factor that drove us to just separate these two, so we didn't have a weird lamp happening behind the sofa that would be hard to reach. Also, pretty important in Aaron's apartment are the party lights. We can't get out of the house, got a party at home. The party lights are situated in the same spots, you know, the different corners, so you can turn them on in the evening and have a fun time. So the idea with Aaron and Devin's living room arrangement is that you don't need to go out and buy all new furniture to make your space feel completely new. When Aaron moved in, they arranged the furniture in the way that they thought they needed to because of how the walls are set up. However, the idea behind this project is that we can break the boundary the walls impose, challenge that, and create a new, larger space that works better for the user than what the wall is kind of like telling you should do. When you move into a spot, you might say, oh man, I'm really restricted on where I can put my TV, where I can put my couch. And I would challenge you to challenge that. Also, your furniture. It doesn't necessarily have to stay the way it is. We separated two different sofas. We turned the sectional into like a couch and love seat, which is not what it was designed to do, but hey, it works. And then we turned the sofa into two separate large sort of chairs. Don't look at a piece of furniture and think, oh, it has to be exactly this way, especially if it's something that was like passed down to you. You got it very inexpensively. Maybe you got it as a gift or for free. Take those and think, how can I use this in a way that'll make sense and work for me? It doesn't necessarily need to be the intended use or the intended arrangement. It could be something totally unique and different. If you think outside of the box when it comes to furniture and how you arrange your furniture in the space, you can create an entirely different kind of room, a different feeling room, so it feels like a new space even though maybe you've been living here for a while. You don't need to buy all new things, you don't need all new furniture, you can work with what you've got. Just think about it a little bit differently.